Hello and welcome back to the analyst desk here for the ESL ESEA Pro League. Anders Semler and Devilwalk have joined me for this segment, as Semler just gets a little closer. It's because there's a fan here. He's just trying to get in on the fan. I feel like the temperature hasn't dropped at all since we've been here. I thought that now time has passed.
Increased, actually.
Yeah, I think so too.
Ever since your headbutt.
It's all in here.
It's all in here. Yeah.
All in here.
We're making it all up. We have no idea.
Yeah. I'm not sweating because I'm just sweating because I'm excited.
Yeah, this is it. Excitement for CLG.
Yeah, it's not hot. It's not hot over here. These games are just so tense. I don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, we don't actually see NAVU and just write it off anymore. That's what's happened.
I went outside for the barbecue and lost all motivation to live. I thought I couldn't handle it anymore.
Dude, you know who lost motivation? The guy who was handling the barbecue. Like that poor guy. He was like stuck between two of them, and he just looked so miserable. And I'm like, I'm glad I'm not you, bro. Like, I'll take one of the sausages.
If you are out of the loop and are sitting somewhere in Antarctica, it's actually really hot here, and across Europe it's been incredibly hot. I think we've got highs of 40 degrees tomorrow, so expect to see us in like string vests and stuff. We're going to see if the ESL guys allow us. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, let's talk about CS. Keyd Stars then up against CLG will be our next game. And the first thing you just said to me off air, Devilwalk, was this one's pretty open-ended.
Yeah, I think, we saw like CLG, they were hitting all their shots. Out-aiming players like all the Fnatic members. Come on, they were really on fire, and I still think Fnatic made a couple of mistakes, but that's what you do when you lose games.
Well, the thing is, to stay in the same vein, right? I started off with how Fnatic are essentially like Zeus, Hades, I'd say, maybe, something along those lines, Mars, but in reality, they're just Achilles. They're actually mortal in the end.
In the heal.
They got God. Like, it did not go their way this morning at all. And so now we get to see, what the mortals can do now that they've been brought down to our level.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves of that CLG roster one more time. And Hayes was the guy that stood out to me because he was on fire in that game against Fnatic, and it's good to see him as well as Tarek FNS or Finesse, as everyone wants to call it, Cutler, JDM, and Hayes. And yeah, I think for me these are some standout individuals, and I'm sure you guys will agree. Anders, I'm going to come to you next. What are their chances up against Keyd?
Well, I can tell that the people on the right of the desk here, they're trying to ride the fence all along. They're like, it could go either way. I'm gonna have to cut this one short. No, I think Keyd are gonna win this.
Okay.
I think definitely they're gonna win. That's my.
Does that mean you're not? Are you going to take something away from CLG then? You have to give some reasoning there. You can't just throw us Keyd's name.
Keyd have been living in the name for a while now, practicing. So they've had a lot of games against CLG, obviously, and had a lot of practice matches against them. I think they're going to be really well prepared. And CLG's history at home leading into this tournament, to me, wasn't all that impressive, really, which is also why I thought they were going to get crushed by Fnatic. So they impressed me once, but they have limited experience. I think pulling off that twice is going to be way more difficult.
Yeah, and just to advance on your point, I actually think Keyd is probably more a consistent team, while CLG being more streaky-esque, playing that kind of, going for a lot of picking, going for a lot of aim duels, and that's, I think Keyd just more solid tactically.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some kind of story to run with, an adopted brother that murders the actual, true son of the nation and take his place. If there's something like that, but all I can think of really is Ramsey Bolton and the horrible things that he's about to do to CLG. But yeah, that's maybe not the best one to go with.
They are basically...
We are the land of sausage, right? Like
they are about to they're basically battling to represent NA. That's essentially what we have going on here. And they've got smiles on their faces. They seem pretty confident going into this one. Let's have a look. How many times did these guys meet?
You know what the most painful thing about all of this was for TSM losing to Keyd in the earlier match is that apparently Boltz actually looks incredibly much like Device's little brother. So all Device could think was, I'm getting beat by my little brother who plays a lot of Counter-Strike, and he's actually apparently pretty good, but I can't lose to him. I can't lose to him.
The weird thing, though, is why would you have Eeyore as your spirit animal? That's just the complete opposite of what you want to go with in CS, right?
Is that what it is?
You see that? It's Eeyore, right?
And
Eeyore is just super slow and super... Yeah, right? No, man, you need something peppy. You need a Deadpool. You need somebody who's going to go and do some work, right? MVK's got the right idea. I'm not sure about the whole Eeyore thing there.
Well, talking of slowing down, this is the most vague transition ever from Eeyore to the changed game style of Keyd with the ZQK taking that in-game leader role. He's slowed everything down, and that's something that, I don't know how much we've seen from them. We saw one example of it, and you were quite fond of it, Anders.
Well, I mean, initially I think I was worried that they were going to be way too slow, but they had some really good reads against TSM, and I think TSM also kind of shot themselves in the foot in that first half, which really did, like, it messed up a lot of the game early on. But no, I think Keed were actually willing to change the pace a lot more than I thought they would be. I was worried that having the guy doing the AWPing, also doing the calling, would somehow slow them down so much that the top teams, at least, will react to that. Like, as soon as they see the slowdown, they'll be like, right, well, we will take control of the game then, and you will never get a chance. But apparently that didn't happen. And I think against CLG, I think it's going to be better for Keed, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, so we've kind of touched on the individuals. Where do we see this map going? This is best of one. They've been so influential so far, and we have the veto now.
Well, exactly. Let's find out which map, before we start sinking our teeth into it, because it's going to be a bit tricky, I think.
CLG played Keystars twice and lost twice on Cobble during the Pro League, so probably not going to be seeing Cobble.
Maybe
a
big
fair
X
assumption
there, right?
Yeah.
And
so far,
did they waste any time on that?
CLG onto Inferno, Keed respond with Train.
Okay, then.
So two kind of I don't want to describe them as surprising bans, considering how little we've seen from CLG on Train as well.
Overpass is out next. So this is starting to get a little interesting. Cobble is still in there.
This is what we could be. I mean, we could be seeing a repeat of what CLG did before. CLG, they struggled against Keed, Fnatic or Mirage relentlessly, and then proceeded to pick it because they could beat it. Nope, tell a lie. Just as I get excited about that train of thought, they
kind
do
of feel like
ban that away.
Keed taking out Mirage, that's actually pretty cheeky. I like that.
I mean, CLG, it kind of makes sense that they want kind of the European standard maps like Inferno, Mirage, or Cash, where you can take a lot of aim duels and kind of it fits more into their playstyle. So I'm not surprised it actually went to like something along the realm likes of like Cash or Mirage.
No, like Cash is also like historically a really strong map for North American teams though. So I mean, it's not like CLG are going to get caught with their pants down. No. They're definitely going to be zipped up and ready.
So this, I mean, has this, if anything, just made it more of a could go either way? Is that what's just happened here, Anders?
No, I don't want to be on the fence. Keed all the way.
You are? Okay. We at least have one certain analyst here.
I can't do that. But just to point out, it's kind of cool that Keed actually did ban out Mirage themselves, because some teams will get into this really weird mentality where once they have like a little bit of success on one map, and obviously that's how we all got to know Keed as the team that play Mirage super well. But if they did it kind of having like a couple of really good executes, and once everyone figured those out, they stopped working. So I'm glad that they didn't just like say, oh, well, it worked once, let's try and do it again. They actually know their own map pool pretty well, which sounds like a really basic thing, but not all teams do.
Well, it's also like considering this team beat the best team in the world on that map, might want to just like, give it the heave-ho, get out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with Anders more than I am with going for CLG. I think Cade is gonna take this either way, even though I think this is a better map choice, a bit better. It evens it up a bit more.
Yeah, and
what is that?
Once again, we
Peter.
we see Peter there, and he's been sat behind them when they've been in the arena. Or sorry, the studio. Now he's in the arena. I had a chat with him when we were out for drinks the other day, and I was just like, so why are you
does not want CLG to win?
Even in the Katowice offline qualifiers,
you're ruthless. Okay, go ahead.
Even in the offline qualifiers, he was standing behind them.
Yeah, man. Well, we all know that famous picture, right? And it will rise.
And he's sitting there, and he seems to have a really good friendship with them. And they had a conversation where they were getting really down on their luck. Keed were getting really, really just kind of depressed, really easy. Like, we've flown all this way and we're losing rounds. And Peter just said, right, can I put on a headset? Is that okay? Can I do that? He just came in, and all he was doing was like, good job, guys. You won a round. That's good. He's basically like the little kind of cheerleader of Keed, and he keeps on doing it. They seems to find something that works.
He's a really, really positive guy. Like he even I've seen a couple of quotes from Peter. Like even when they were down like 15-4, he was like still like, come on boys, like we can do this, let's do it, let's do the comeback. And
it's like, for me, it's after listening, like that Burst Pro match, right? You're listening to him and Lex, like both of them together just seem like this duo, like the heart and soul of the team. Like I was saying during the cast there, it's just like they seem to be like the two guys who are just indomitable, like their spirit, like you can't keep them down. They're just going to constantly keep trying to keep the positivity there.
Is there a weakness in that though? Like, is there a weak point? Because I mean, if you're like always positive, what happens when something you really want to be positive about? Does it not lose some of that shine?
I don't think so.
No?
I think that it's much more important to make sure that the morale stays up for your team than anything, at all times and at all costs. Because as soon as you start quieting down, that's when things go, downhill.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. But I mean, there is obviously the danger, which is if you sort of like keel all the way over and say, well, we don't really care anymore. We're just like, anyway, it's like a good day for us. Like we're not really that into it. I think think it was Idra, wasn't it, once from StarCraft 2, sort of tried to point out that, like, I think he actually had it, because people kept calling him out saying, why don't you GG after the game? He says, well, if I played badly, I'm not going to say it's a good game. Like, there is, like, some of that mentality. I mean, you don't have to go, like, full Greg and just, like, always be angry, but, you know, sometimes it pays to be really super focused and serious and say, look, I'm going to take this 100% seriously, and if I lose, I'll be really angry and mad because I think I should have won, you know? It goes both ways, but, I mean, some of the teams that actually do pretty well, like TSM, well, if you listen to their comms, they're just laughing and giggling all along and having a good time. So that is really helpful if you can keep doing that.
I mean, it helps to be able to take faces off at will as well, right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little help. But while we have a kind of second, because it looked like Keydstars were getting up and having a group huddle, we will just go down that vein a little more, because Devil, we had a great discussion about Fnatic and their approach to comms, because tell a lie, we do have a game. They're fantastic. I was worried we'd lost Keyd. It is time for us to head on into that game, and so it's my pleasure to hand you over to the casters.
Thank you very much. Didn't even get an introduction this time from Alex. It is D-Man and Moses bringing you this game, and, well, who else was going to bring you this game, that's for sure. It's America versus America, or, well, technically.
And one of these guys goes straight into the semifinals, which no one expected.
No, absolutely. That is a big deal, and obviously I was just talking to MBK as well, like, if they were to go and beat Cloud9, they will face these guys in the semi-finals. I was having to explain the path for Envious now. But of course, they've got to play Cloud9 first, which is a big deal in itself. That's tomorrow. That's quarterfinals. Let's not get there, because Keydstars chose Cash here, which actually surprised us, because Dust2 was on the paper, like, would have been their better map.
Yeah, well, it goes into that thing that they like to play, those double op setups. But Cash, you can do that as well on. So that'll be something interesting to see. Dust2 obviously more known for it. But with Cash, you know, there's that very, very popular setup that Fnatic popularized with an op in A and op in B in three-men control middle. Yeah. So that's a definite possibility going forward. I think this is really interesting, though, because Keydstars, with all the time they've spent in North America, when they play other North American teams now, it's kind of this big mind game with each other. You know, they try and switch some things up. They try and play a little bit slower and a little bit more cautiously because they're so used to each other.
And we talk about mind games, and they just mentioned Pete in the background there, and we were just saying it's like, if anyone would love to score a win over CLG, it's Pete from Luminosity, formerly of CLG.
He'd be so hyped. He would love that. So, and especially if it was Keydstars to do it, obviously he loves those guys, always behind him whenever he gets the chance. But this is going to be very interesting, because while we said that, you know, Keydstars likes to have that double up setup, CLG can do it as well. At times, Tarek's been their secondary opera on the CT sides, on their defensive side. So that'll be interesting to see if CLG likewise busts something out like that.
And it was interesting to hear from Fallen earlier on, talking about how the changes, since obviously ZQKS, I gotta get his name right. It's such an awkward name. How do you guys cast this for the whole season?
ZQK.
Z. Well, I guess you guys say Z. I say Z.
We get a little bit shorter.
Yeah. I might even go with ZQK. It may be quicker and easier to say. But he was saying that obviously since he's become the in-game leader, it's give him a new freedom, a new lease of life, and suddenly he feels his game's improving. And I guess that's just the weight of the in-game leader has. But have you guys seen a lot of changes as this happened? Because it happened sort of like during the season.
Well, it happened recently. Like at the end of the season. It happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe. And we didn't even know about it. They kept it very, very quiet. I didn't find out until we were here at ESL. So that's... I mean, it's just kind of a little bit crazy. And I mean, it's weird because all the analysts are saying, you know, we don't really like having oppers be your caller. That's kind of something that, you know, handicaps them a little bit with some things they might like to do. But, you know, it looked like it was working perfectly against TSM.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have, incredibly, they've only faced each other 3 times. One of those was at Katowice. Actually, I tell a lie because I've still got it down. Well, it was. I mean, it was obviously a slightly different team then. JDM wasn't on the team. It was Peter playing then. But that was when they actually got knocked out. 9th round going ahead. Looks like it's going to go, I was about to say CLG's way, and they did manage to come in off. But Keydstars have won it every time. Every time. Cobblestone was twice played in the Pro League, but obviously they don't get to choose that. But Dcash, I mean, I'm really still surprised by this, because obviously we looked at their play. We were talking about the double AWP setups that they like to run, and Dust2 just fits that so well. I mean, like you say, are we going to just see this single AWPs maybe this time around? Is Fallen actually going to stick with a rifle?
It's very, very possible. You know, I think it's interesting that CLG against Fnatic, they'd lost 3 maps on Mirage to Fnatic over their lifespan playing them, and they let it go through, and they were fine playing it. Here against Keydstars, who stomped them on Dust2 at Katowice, they let that go through. It didn't get picked, but they're more than willing to play these maps that in the past they've struggled with. So they've done some work, they've changed some things around, and they feel confident on them now.
Oh, maybe they got their confidence in JDM. Who knows? The one change they had. It took them a while to find JDM actually through the season. They even gave Mo a little chance in there as well. Bless him.
Sure did. And it got to a point in the season where, like, all right, you've played like 5 weeks with him. Like, he's got to be the one you're picking up.
It's got to be the guy. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Keatstars versus Counterlogic Gaming for a place in the semi-finals. And already it's looking like a bit of an A-main play.
Right, and Keatstar's pushing up B as well, so they have so much intel, and 3 players for Keatstar's actually here. That's just a decoy in middle, so this is a good setup on the defense.
Yeah, it's Steel and first. Steel's about to come right around the back. CLG actually boosting over mid, though, so by the time he gets there, it's going to be too late. Steel has no information other than the fact they're not here. But ZQK will manage to find Finesse. Tarek pushing up straight into the corner. Fallen's the man that's actually in quad. Tucked away. Fergod comes around the side, does manage to get a tap on. And this is working out well for Keed. It's just Hayes left. He's all alone, completely singled out. And that was some impressive rotation play from Keed.
Right, well, when they pushed out B so early on and all that intel, there was no map control from CLG. That was just decided right out of spawn they were going to hit A quickly, and they committed to it. And that's kind of what happens when you don't have that map control or that intel across the map on both sides. You leave yourself open to that. They were not expecting 2 Keatstars players to be coming from A main that quickly.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's looking like this time they're going to be piling straight towards that B side, but Fallen is the man that's there and smokes them off. Prevent this. I think we could... Are we going to start classing when you go for the Deagles, the force in there alongside the Tech-9s? I mean, they've got the head armor as well, so we very much are forcing for this second round, but...
Yeah, and they do something kind of interesting because they want JDM to have the op on the 4th round, so he actually hasn't bought anything, which is going to help his economy out. But Hayes as well doesn't have armor, just going for those Deagle peaks. And it looks like they're piling in middle. They're going to force Steel back, so they do have mid control, but they have no utility to use for it. It's going to come down to someone making a play with these Tech-9s or that Deagle.
Well, ZQK is going to cover it off from Forklift. Steel does make the rotation back to Connector. Meanwhile, Fallen had pushed out a little from Checkers there and realized that they're probably coming his way. You're going to have the one coming through, that's Finesse. Meanwhile, the rest of the 3 pushing through. Fergod's got himself back on site. Steel's in a good position to rotate quickly. He's already on the way. They're going to be in a perfect position for this one. It's a double for Fallen before he goes down, but he managed to get the money. A beautiful little pop up and down control there from Fer to finish things off.
Yeah, pretty interesting there, because CLG, they get that full mid control. They force Steel back, and because they had no utility, they had no smokes, they had no flashes, they couldn't even attempt to go up towards the A bomb site. Pretty much all they had left at that point was to fall back and do that mid B split. All that was available to them, and Keatstars handled it very, very well.
A total save this time around, just a P250 for Hayes coming through, so to go. Again, that force not really working out for them. Like you said, they didn't really have a lot. They've only picked up 2 kills so far as well in the game, so they haven't really picked up a great deal from the pistols. ZQK actually got a good look through A main there, so a good amount of information gathered up. And if you look across the map, they're all holding these very much positions, keeping at distance. Oh, good tag there onto Steel, actually, as Tarek actually comes leaping through, but immediately they back out of mid, expecting the revenge coming out from Keaton. Well, there it is. Fallen gets himself 1 and 2. Buys time. Didn't get the pop flash out in time to cover off Fur. In fact, that was a counter flash on himself. Will manage to get himself a double. That just leaves Tarek. If he can get the bomb plant down, it's a bonus, and he does that. Got himself the FAMAS in a 1v3. What can he do? No head armor. Does manage to flash himself out. Comes around. Doesn't manage to catch bolts off guard, though. It will be a quick and easy defuse once that molly clears out. Do have a kit, so there's no... Ooh, no, they don't have a kit. The bolts actually, the one guy that doesn't have a kit goes for it. Okay.
Going for it. That was actually a little bit unfortunate for Keatstars. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but CLG gets that plant because that flashbang that Fallen tries to throw out just before he dies blinds his teammate, so he can't effectively guard the cross. So just a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, it actually has a big impact, because CLG now, so much money, that really makes up for that force buy in the second round not being effective.
It's given enough money for JDM to get himself that AWP and head armor and all those mollies across the board. That is...
And Molotovs are huge on this map, absolutely huge. We saw Cloud9 earlier today on Cash against Envy, utilizing those Molotovs very, very well on that B-bomb site.
Well, we're going to see, looks like a little boost for Fur into vents this time around. You can see up close and personal ZQK getting himself just below drop, sticking with the P90 as well, hasn't got his hands on the AWP just yet. So we'll see whether he adjusts position when he gets that one. We can see Fallen is the man with the AWP on B site. Not holding it singularly, though, like we've seen Neo doing on Cash for Virtus Pro. Fur instead nearby, and this Looks like it's going to be a big boost through mid, and ZQK is in the perfect position to counter this.
This is a very centralized defense as well. 3 players there and a 4th that can be there pretty quickly. And CLG comes up, they get that opening pick. There's one right below him, though. They haven't spotted ZQK yet.
If he manages to catch him, he knows there's going to be finesse coming through this middle. That's what he's waiting for.
Oh, no.
Oh, and he doesn't even look. They're right above him. Could be an easy one. Spins around, but they're not there anymore. Luckily, they've dropped back down towards A main. That could have been so much bigger for ZQK. Bolts has completely backed away, so they've gone passive on A side, basically looking for the retake. Meanwhile, this is all happening. Fur on a complete fact-finding mission. He's going to get it back around the side. It's hazed with the bomb, actually. He's going to find. Doesn't manage to get the frag. Will do the second time of asking, but now that's the bomb loose, and that's going to cause a problem for CLG.
Yeah, so much damage dealt. This should be easy picking for Keed from here. It's just Tarek left right at the end, and crucial play from ZQK in mid. CLG gets that opening pick, and they want to use it as a fake. They want to have this posture towards mid, so they force to rotate and go back to the A bomb site. But because no one cleared directly beneath them, ZQK able to do so much with that as Tarek falls here in the end. So 4 quick rounds for Keedstars.
Yeah, of course, a heavily invested round. They've got right about enough to go for it. They could at least certainly force. It looks like it's going to be Tech9s coming out there. Finesse immediately calling the shots, and I really wouldn't mind actually, I may actually go try and listen to the communications, because this is something we've talked about a lot, certainly with CLG. I was in the arena listening to them, and Devil Walk was just literally head in hands for a lot of it. It's just like, how are they playing with their communications like this? They were shouting over each other.
Yeah, that's always been an issue with CLG. At certain times, it sounds like there's 3 or 4 different players calling 3 or 4 different ideas. No great, strong in-game leadership for CLG.
The tanks out there. The information was all they needed for further. Got himself a good look around the corner. JDM and Tarek are going to try and boost on over. It's going to be JDM they launch in. Tarek drops down as well. Steal in the right position, but didn't manage to land the shot. Bolts knows that he's got men pushing there. It is actually going to be the B site, so they're going to back away. They're going to go towards Vents, and it's actually fallen with the AWP all alone on B site, but it's just a fake from CLG as they try and push on through. Where are they going to go? They've got mid control. ZQK is completely pushed out A main. He's actually got a good bit of information. Now they know. But ZQK is in an awkward position. He's pushed himself around, and he actually might be able to get him on the cross as they go in towards there. They're going to get the bomb plant around. Finesse, though, will take a good look and will find them. And this force buy has worked out magically for CLG.
Yeah, that fight by Bolts that he took against Tarek in mid was really unnecessary. Put his team in a tough spot in so many places to look when you're pushed up in A main and you know they're creeping into the site. So Fur, all he can really do here is try and save this gun, but Tarek's not going to let him get away. So a great job by CLG. That was another similar round where they take mid on their eco. They didn't have the utility to do anything once again, but because they found those picks this time, it all works out for him in the end. And now, 4-1. CLG, that's going to help them out massively, so they're able to get a little bit of bank. They're able to get some free weapons, basically, and you can see the economy that's built up just because of that.
Absolutely. First round on the board for them, that's what they needed. Gives JDM the power to happily invest and feel secure in that one. ZQK, they've gotten themselves the AWP. This is the first time he's been using it. And this time CLG look like they may go for a bit of a set A play. Cutler's in position to hold off. Again, they've dropped that bomb loose, and they've got as you talked about earlier, that big line of scrimmage where they can just gather all the information they need to give Finesse the information to decide where his team will attack. It's going to be a boost over mid. Steel is the man that's waiting for them. And he is the only man, though, this time around. Nobody's waiting drop, and he just backed away. He's just gone back up towards A sites, and they have no vision about this stack in mid.
Yeah, Steele's had a tough time kind of managing that on his own, so it seems like he's playing it a little bit passive just to be safe. They do have a member from Quad. Looks like that ZQK with the AWP. He's going to be watching towards mid, so this is a solid position for him. And if CLG decides to dry peek this angle, it could go horribly wrong for him. But at the moment, they just have that lurker out mid, and they're going back towards A.
Fur and Fallen have pushed out of B. They're pushing all the way around in towards the mid, so that's going to give them all the information. They know that it's an A hit. And, well, Keed, while only with pistol on Steel, are in the right position at the right time. Finesse might get found out by Fur there. Yes, he will. That's going to be the mid plate. And now they're going to be pushing up on A main. And this is going to force CLG to have to push. They have to go for this one. Tarek goes through the smoke, doesn't manage to catch a glimpse. Steel with the USP does find the one. Cutler tries to jump on through. And that was perfectly executed by Keith from every single angle. They had it all covered. And that was just simple information gathering by the B-side players.
Yeah, that mid-round push out of B was huge for Keatstars, and then just playing very passively behind the smoke, not giving up anything, and they even pick up a free double op setup off this. They do pick up the op that was in JDM's hands, so now that's going to be in ZQK and Fallen, and this might allow them, if they so choose, to have a very, very strong mid presence.
And let's not forget, economy-wise, that's actually going to hamper CLG, obviously getting that win and loss straight away. We'll see how they come out of this one. First, the man that's got himself up close by box. Hayes is trying to get a peek there. Not going to work out for him. JDM does stay down ZQK. That was a quick AWP duel over on A site. And that means they try and go for A. It's still smoked off. Again, CLG looks like they want to get this mid-control once again.
Yeah, but look at how that one pick affects the defense. I mean, two players spread out. Now there's one player in mid, but they can't gather any information. They've basically just got to hold this and see if they can catch something at the very end. But like you said, CLG storming out mid. There's a minute on the clock. They have a lot of time to toy with this man advantage. And actually, Fur makes an aggressive play, but he burns to the molly. That was a go big or go home.
Kind of did both. That's the thing. And it is going to be a B play. They're going to rotate around. Steel is in position if Tarek were to drop through vents. He's just outside checkers. You can just see Bolts there getting a shot. Look towards him. Steel does get one. Can he get a second as he drops on through? Yes, he can. This is working out well. It's exactly all he needed to do. And it's bought time for Bolts to get in position. Now he has vision across there. Fallen will join him. That's the smoke that we saw going down. But Steel manages to push on through. Bolts, sorry. All kind of metal. They're all the same guys. But JDM with the bomb plant. AWP on AWP. Is Fallen going to go for a rifle, or is he just going to stick this out with the AWP?
Looks like he's just waiting for that smoke to fade before making his move.
JDM has the better position. It's going to have to be a quick scope for either of them. Tries to draw the feint, tries to go for the no-scope. Not going to happen, doesn't manage to land it, and it was the weapon change that Fallen went for, and he will have time for the defuse with that kit. And it's now 6-1 to Keatstars. They're starting to build up a heck of a lead.
Right, that was a crucial round to win because that's going to break the economy for CLG. So now they're going to be this is something they could force buy, but that would be extremely risky of them if they didn't happen to win it. So they're just going to buy up some pistols, maybe a little bit of armor, see what kind of damage they can do with it. But a wonderful one-on-one to win there.
So he didn't choose to go back and collect that AWP, Fallen's just got the one. ZQK delighted. I'm being dumb. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. The dumb, weird moment there. Oh, Fergod with a nice boost gets himself a double. It is just against the pistol, but that's all they needed. Cutler and Hayes with a deagle in hand. Cutler waiting to burst out Squeaky, but he's all alone, and his teammates are falling across the map. JDM is the man. This is Cutler needs to create a racket, a fake, but it's not going to be enough. He got cut down, and Fallen should be able to find JDM the second he comes around this corner.
Yeah, that was actually a great call and a great read from Keatstars, knowing that on all their eco rounds, CLG has gone for that mid control, and they've been able to push back Steel and go from there. That's actually, a round they won, but that time they don't let him get in anything. And this is a gun battle. Fallen misses the shot. JDM's going to take him down. If this can turn into a bomb plant, but he's not being aggressive towards the site. So there's really, now at this point, there's nothing he can do. He's cordoned off in checkers. There's nowhere he can go anymore.
Well, he's just got the PT-50. If he can get that AWP out of the hands of CQK, he'll certainly be happy. Except he switched it to the M4, so not going to happen. Going to sit it out. 27 seconds still on the clock here. But Keatstars have no reason to go looking for him. I think as soon as he comes around the corner, yeah, it's going to go straight into Seal's point of view. Yeah. 7-1.
And I'm not sure why he didn't just try and run into the bomb site there. That was really his only play, because that's a round you can't...
After getting the kill, yeah.
Right, just get into the bomb site, try and get it planted, try and get that extra money for your team. But either way, 7-1 now. CLG's got to find something here.
This is the rifle round. JDM once again got the hands on the AWP, but no armor this time. Full glass cannon. Maybe Tarek finesse.
It's got to be aggressive A here.
Trying to go in there. Oh, but look at this. They push straight out. ZQK does manage to get one. Tarek the second, but Fallen is quicker to the draw on JDM. And that attack has been cut so short. And again, Keatstars just switching it up, knowing that they're onto a rifle and just trying to go aggressive. Hayes with a good shot on Steel. Does bring it to a 4-on-2 in their favor.
That was a huge flank. Hayes bails him out, and then with a second nice shot onto Fur. So huge plays from Hayes here, who is, Fallen turns around, gets a swift pick, but Tarek cleans him out at the end. And there's that secondary opper, Tarek. He's probably more than likely going to be handing that over towards JDM in this round. But like I said before the cast, he is that secondary opper for CLG.
Well, second round for Counter Logic Gaming. It'd be nice to actually have a word and listen, see what they're doing. Let's see if we can get some comms from them guys.
That's the end goal and we're fine.
They've been playing a check every round, so.
Yep.
Very cool, calm.
They didn't smoke mid
They
this
pushed
round.
mid, I
yeah.
think they pushed mid. They didn't smoke A, man.
I'm holding
They smoked
mid.
him in. They smoked
They
it.
possibly pushed it. I'm holding mid
Cyber
still.
then. Okay, I'm gonna back up.
Yeah.
I backed up.
I'm not sure if it's a save or not. Give me a
It's
second.
fine.
They didn't
Just
smoke
for-
B, by the way.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Give me 2 seconds. There's no
Simple information gathering. I don't want to go too far because I can hear the slightest of echoes, so I don't want to give anything away. But you can see they're just simply all just gathering the information, giving Finesse all they need to make this decision. Again, looks like they're going to explode into mid as Cutler's the first man to get launched over the top here, still instantly backing away. Trying to stack out, of course. It was a very much forced shoddy buy for Keydstars. You can see Fulham with the scout, the Mag 7. They've decided to stack out on A site, but it's B that CLG look like they might be hitting.
Yeah, and this is all based on the fact that Keydstars, I mean, the mid player Steel only had a CZ75, but this entire half, basically, Keydstars has been very light on their mid control on the defense.
And there you go, CLG looking to come in there. Scout shot from Fallen, doesn't land, doesn't connect. CLG full control, 4 men in sight. Smokes in the perfect position.
This should be an immediate save goal. This should be immediate.
Finesse is in perfect position here to try and catch them out. Yes, he will get one. Steel is the man. I think they're going to try and boost over the top of him. Yeah, they are. So it's going to be fur that's going to come up and over above him. I don't think Finesse is going to be ready for this one. That should maybe just wrestle an AK out of his hands. And I think that's about all they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. And once that bomb site's taken, you can see no kits on their side, very light utility. They're just going to keep this force buy into the next round. They're going to try and make something else come of it.
So JDM and crew get themselves their 3rd round on the board. And quite an important one because you can see obviously it's starting a bit of a horrendous pattern there setting up. They struggled to get themselves going. Keydstars can afford to buy themselves a little something. Not a great deal. Steel, not really any weapons. I think they're just going to get something handed over to him here. No, he's just gone for a deagle. He's been struggling.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Those communications from CLG sounded, very controlled early on. It was very, very common, and I think one of them mentioned it. We don't know if they're saving. We don't know what's going on. So they played that round very cautiously, very passively, and they made the right call off of it.
Yeah, very correct as well. Yeah, it worked out well for them. Again, if looking at the minimap, identical play, round after round after round from CLG. Hazed down towards B side, tucked himself away. Fur's going to go looking, but this time Hazed is in a perfect position to try and catch them in the back. Oh, he went a little early, could have possibly waited for the second. Doesn't matter though, going to get the first shot and the second. That's what they needed. B side wide open.
Right, but they don't have the bomb. I mean, this might be something where they want to slow things down, make sure they don't ruin this great lead they have. ZQK is going to push up with that shotgun. He's going to be on a quick flank. FNS is in the middle to watch it, but they're still going to come into this B bomb site.
He's coming around the back. Hazed is actually ready for him. He's looking in his direction. Finesse will manage to find the one on. Bolts gets the reply. And Steel and Bolts is all that's left. Tarek, bomb plant in there. They have this covered off. Hazed is already on the hunt. He's gone all the way around. He's expecting a full save from Keyd, and that's looking like Bolts is going to go straight to CT spawn.
Yeah, Keydstars needs to make an adjustment on how they're guarding mid. They're letting CLG have their way with it. It's opening up so many things, especially if they get a pick. With the CLG having that mid control, they can go basically anywhere they want. And on the other side of the coin, with CLG punishing like that, we might see them make up switch something out. Maybe not go for that mid. Maybe just commit to a bomb site when you think that Keydstars is going to react to that kind of mid presence.
Well, the slow and steady play is working out well for them. We saw the Cloud9 game on Cash earlier on against Envious. And, despite Envious having such a great lead, 6-0, we saw Cloud9 coming back and taking the half. Can Counterlogic Gaming do the same at 7-4 already? And, of course, Keydstars very much on a save. Just that one rifle in the hands of Bolt save in the last round.
Yeah, and this has basically been 2 rounds of that force buy that they managed to save some of the weapons, and now it's just, they don't have anything, so this is actually turning into 3 rounds where CLG has a massive advantage in terms of utility and their arsenal. So, off the back of that, they're really catching up now. It's been 3 straight for them after being down 7-1.
It's built himself a good bank up as well, because they haven't really been tested for the last 3 rounds. Tarek's about to find Steel, and that will get a little opening on the A site. Cutler's the man at Squeaky, which ZQK is going to try and keep at bay here. We have seen some fantastic anti-ecos coming out so far. Bolt's the only man with a rifle, the only man with a kit, the only man with grenades. going to be so important as CLG look to burst in towards A site.
Yeah, he's going to have a big job to do here. Just trying to spray at the door, get that one. He gets flashed off. He's flashback, so now they can enter into this bomb site.
Can work the way around. ZQK completely flashed out there. Easy shot for Tarek, but there's one for Bolts. Can he make more? He's got Ferb backing him up as they come around the side. Bomb plant in there. Hayes covering the back door, keeping Fallen at bay. Tries to flank around and catch Bolts off guard. Bolts gets himself a second. So important, but the clock is ticking. The bomb's planted. He needs to make a move. He needs support of his team. There's just too many smokes. He's got no vision.
Yeah, that's something where he's looking for one kill very, very quickly before that smoke clears to see if he can go for it, but FNS punishes him for sticking around a little bit too long. That was never meant to be a committal. And as the smoke fades, his cover leaves him. And another good round for CLG.
Fallen managed to rescue an AK from this game round, but that's about all, as you say. 7-5. And that is 4 rounds now for CLG back-to-back. Built themselves up a good economy. Keedstars will be able to get themselves a lot of rifles in this one. The first time in around about 3 rounds, they finally got in there. But look at JDM's bank. He's got his AWP, he's got every grenade he needs, he's got the head armor, and he's got 10k in the bank.
It's ridiculous, and it's off the back of those 3 to 4 rounds with that force buy and then save that CLG just hasn't been tested whatsoever. You mentioned it, they haven't been challenged whatsoever. Ooh. But a nice shot from Fallen over the smoke.
There's a boosted Fallen there as well. Didn't see who he was boosted on top of, but CLG tried to switch it up, tried to go for that fast play, the quick over the middle. Cutler is still in there. Hayes is going to be with him, and it's looking like it may well be a mid to B play this time. Fur all on his own down that site at the moment. Steel tries to make that rotate, but he's got to have a look in mid. He's got to see if there's anybody in and around there yet.
Yeah, the solo B player, he's about to be under so much pressure. Steel needs to get over there to back him up. All of CLG, all 4 of their members are ready to hit this. It looks like one's going to be coming through vents, maybe just watching for mid, but they're going to let JDM try and pick it off, and he misses the shot, although he does hit him through the wall down to 28, so he does good damage.
Yeah, they're expecting this to come. ZQK's truck, he's almost ready to just head straight down to B site, so they will have numbers if they need it. The moment that smoke goes down, there's the flash, he's already on the move. First going to push up, goes to go aggressive, doesn't manage to find Hayes through the smoke. Hayes being so instrumental down on B site so far. He was fantastic in the first matchup as well. And this is actually CLG backing away. They've got 30 seconds, they're on the full rotate. The foot race is on. Bolt's heading back towards A site with ZQK. Cutler's trying to cut them off. Doesn't manage to land the frag on ZQK as he passes on by, but Hayes and Finesse already coming out of A main.
Yeah, and Bolts does find one. Cutler, he's playing with fire here. Very low HP, but he's in the open. That Molotov's going to push him back just a little bit. That's going to allow the bomb to get planted. That Molotov's just a little bit off. And look at the health for Keedstars. So incredibly low. 7 for Seal, 2 for ZQK. They're in a lot of trouble on this retake.
ZQK dancing on the edge of the flames there with just 2 health. And this is going to be such a hard retake. They've got no flashes. They've got 1 HE. That's all they have. But they do manage to get themselves a double frag. Finesse will get taken down. And how the hell did they just manage to get that retake?
So CLG had 2 members in quad. Cutler was one of them with 1 HP. They were hoping that, you know, if it was a nade thrown, it would definitely kill Cutler, but that could be a bait and switch. They wouldn't expect the second player there. They would assume it was cleared out. Or if they just kind of took the bomb site dry, he would be able to peek and bait him, just lure him into a trap a little bit. But the Molotov completely ruins that plan, so they get a couple easy kills there. And a great retake on a crucial round for Keedstars.
Well, luckily for CLG, they had built up such a big bank because they needed it this time around. Are they going to try and play it fast and loose? It looks like it's going to be a set A play. A lot of smokes all being lined up here. Smokes and flashes. ZQK actually looking to get a boost. He's going to go on towards the box. Over on A side, Cutler fast to Squeaky there, opening Squeaky early. The rest of CLG piling on through. They're already in forklift. ZQK not checked in the corner there. They know he's there for the second. Will not be able to get himself a revenge kill, but Bolts in the smoke is doing work. They're going to get face check on. Comes around, pushes on towards JDM. That's the bomb carrier down. Fallen needs to get here fast. He's trying to cover him off, trying to delay there, trying to land the shots. Meanwhile, Bolts keeping them at bay. The bomb is still loose. Hayes has managed to finally collect that. That's going to get planted in there, but that grenade just going wide, and Hayes finally getting that bomb plant down, and now a 2-on-2 situation. Fallen rotating, coming to A main to give him the support he needs, but this is another tricky retake for Keed.
Yeah, and there goes Bolt. So he got stuck in that doorway. Now Fallen's repositioned himself wonderfully, and he's going to catch one off guard. But now he needs to find the other one. He's worked his way into the bomb site, playing the movement. He's gotten out of quad. Fallen throws the flash over. He does switch out to the AK, but he can't find the kill. Cutler's going to win it. A great 2-on-2 for CLG to win.
Wow, this game could well be going all the way here. This has gone from pretty much a 6-7-1 game to a 8-6. And CLG Really impressed, actually, with the way they've managed to work their way back into it. It's forced Keed to go for just about anything they can. You can see the double scout, the FAMAS, bolts with nothing, just the pistol in hand and 2 flashes. Meanwhile, JDM and Co have all managed to pick up just about everything they need. Can they take it 8-7 in the first half? ZQK once again going aggressive. He's going to push on through the smoke. Try to find Tariq, gets tagged up heavily and caught out in the smoke. That is what they needed. Now, what will they do with it? Because CLG, when they began this opening frag, have chose not to go straight on site, but now they've got the second kill. They may well do that.
They might if they have the intel that there were 2 players over at B, and it looks like they are going to speed this up. And they're going to Molotov off the fence, the NBK spot, and now Steel's position is given up. FNS does find one, and Tarek, nice entry onto Steel. That's going to work their way to the bomb site, and this is going to be a round for CLG. And this is the second match. They were down 7-1 against Fnatic on Mirage. They were down something like 6-1. Maybe it was even 7-1. They were getting beat up, and they have some fantastic in these 2 matches, some fantastic adjustments in the middle of these halves.
And this is a team, honestly, when we had the listening, very calm and collected. We'll have to try and go with that again when things start hotting up in the second half. But CLG now moving to the CT side have got to be happy with their T-side performance there.
Oh yeah, they're ecstatic, especially in the way that they did it, down so much to begin with, and I mean they just abused the middle of the map that Keedstars wasn't really having control of, and then on top of that. That force buy by Keedstars that they ended up saving, you know, that 3-round stretch where they really didn't put up much of a fight against CLG, that really hurt them. That allowed CLG to get right back into this match. That was from when that winning streak began from when they were at, you know, it was at 7-1 and they just picked up 3 straight off of it and closed that gap.
You see the tickets available there for ESL 1 Cologne. That's coming up, of course, 22nd of August as a major. Keedstars, one of the legendary teams that are going there for free, effectively, after their great performance back in Katowice, managing to reach the quarterfinals. CLG hoping to join them. That is what, a week down the line, and there's actually questions of, can I go to the bathroom? Oh, someone spilt Red Bull. Oh, dear me. This is not good.
Crisis. Absolute crisis.
This is a crisis, so that's holding things up there. It's not fallen. He's keeping his teammates' spirits high. It looks like with some ear rolls coming off, I was going to say, you keep that headset on, son. Oh, there we go. There's the spillage. Graham's on the case. It's all good. He's managed to get that. That's Tarek sits there? Yeah, it's Tarek.
It would be Tarek to spill it. It would be. This is going to be an interesting T-side for Keedstars because they're a team who, throughout the season, they've had some cool executes with Molotovs, and they're crucial on this map for flushing people out of position for some of these executes that you do on both bomb sites. Across the map, you can use a Molotov in a lot of different creative ways, and if Keedstars have some of those things set up to supplement that kind of execute explosive style that they're really, really good at, I mean, that can be huge. That can really, really cause the defense for CLG a lot of problems.
Well, I mean, what are we expecting for, obviously, Keedstars? We want to talk about their attack. Obviously, we were talking about the double up. They were the ones that chose the map in the first place. They have to have something in their bag of tricks. What have you seen from them throughout the Pro League season?
I mean, it's gonna be down to, I mean, Fur just coming out deathmatching, finding some entries, finding some duels for him is huge, and then ZQK with that op to back it up. He's got to catch fire a little bit because that op set, that, you know, even when they salvaged the op off JDM to have that double op set up, it really wasn't that effective. And then from there on out, they basically couldn't afford to buy an op for the rest of the half. They were at the point where they had to win rounds more than they could afford to save. So we never saw him really get that op going. So in the second half, he's going to have that come alive. That'll be able to help him take mid and things of that nature, and, you know, pick into the A bomb site.
Really surprises me, you know. I'm looking at Keedstars' cash record overall, that they went for cash. I'm still a little mind boggled. They clearly had something in their minds, but we know we've been hearing from Virtus Pro about what they feel their best map is now, and it's certainly different from what everybody else's opinion is. They feel they've obviously put a lot of work, a lot of time into these maps, and maybe that's what we've seen from Keedstars. Maybe they've been screaming hard on cash. We don't know really what happens behind the scenes. I know they've had a lot of scrims with Luminosity, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of their favorite practice partners.
Yeah.
And even Fallen, after they...
Peter's there, I mean...
Right. But even Fallen said, you know, in his winning interview after beating TSM on Inferno, that was a map when they came to America, they felt it was really, really shaky. They felt it was... it was kind of one of their weaker maps, so they put a lot of work into it, and they felt very confident, and it showed. So maybe this is kind of a similar situation where Cash was a map they didn't feel that comfortable on, and they've been able to put some work in.
I mean, in their defense, they did play Fnatic on Mirage. That was, which was pretty angry. But obviously, they were the days when, they had some good results. A lot of people were originally pigeonholing them as a one-team, one-map team, but they've definitely managed to expand their.
They're actually a fantastic overpass team.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, they're really, really strong on that map. So they've put some work in since they've gotten to the States, and it's showed in a lot of ways.
Well, there's a lot of people talking about the heat in Cologne, saying how it actually favors
a couple clever tweets.
I know TSM were talking about it. They totally got it. I think they actually came in the minibus. Cool story, by the way. They came in the minibus together, and Keystars didn't want the air conditioning on.
Really?
And TSM were like, "Are you kidding? Are you mad? Don't you know we're Danish? Just like, get that air conditioning on now." Tarek is back in his seat, so it looks like the spillage has been averted. So hopefully we'll be getting this game back underway in a few moments. We can see Graham just talking to CLG, making sure everything is sorted out between them. And we'll be ready to go in the second half. See, there's the secret hand signal that get it on with it.
Right, let's get it going, boys.
Yeah, there's a little glimpse at the trophy available. A lot of money up for grabs in this one, of course. Remember, $100,000 going to the winner.
That's awesome.
That's
really cool, and that's on top of the money that was given out during the regular season.
The season, yeah, of course. All these guys finished in top 4, so I think it was like 18,000 down, like 1,500 between each one. But they are coming away with a lot of money from this one, no doubt about it. This is obviously a lot of pride on the line as well, because the American teams who are coming here, the winner will be going to the semi-finals, which is incredible, really. A lot of talk about the American teams coming into this tournament, it's like the 4 spots that they had, but guaranteed there will be an American team in them top 4 slots.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really, really cool. So they all came to play, and you can see, I mean, we've been able to see this progression throughout the regular season of North American teams performing, better and better. But it's always been that question of how do you equate that to playing against the Europeans, because they're playing better against other North American teams. And now that we've come here, they've showed that they're able to make it translate. And now that these teams keep beating TSM, CLG beating Fnatic, obviously the boost of confidence that gives you moving forward is huge when you take down giants like that.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, awaiting the game to get back underway. 8-7 is the current score to Keystars. They have themselves just the slightest of leads. But we're going to go to a break while this problem gets fixed out. I don't know what's going on. They've managed to break something in their spillage, I believe. So we'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hopefully get things going in a short while. Clearly, Tarek broke something serious when he spilt his drink. I don't know what he's done. They're sorting something out either way. So instead, you're just going to have to look at our ugly mugs for a few short moments, I'm afraid. But let's talk about the tournament so far, because it's been pretty incredible for the American boys. So we've got, obviously, the winner of this is going to be into the semi-final. They're going to be playing whoever gets there tomorrow. Loser will be going to the quarterfinal. That's a bit of an unenviable task, because they're going to be facing Fnatic or TSM.
Right. No one wants to do that. Not in a best of 3. The best of 1 is a whole separate issue.
Yeah.
Once you get to that best of 3, I mean, even talking to CLG after they won that match, because I asked him, I was like, flat out, why would you pick Mirage? Why would you do that? And it was, they were just like, we expected, because they beat us 3 times, that they would be confident they could beat us again. And they're like, and really, when you look at their map pool, they don't have a bad map. There's no real great answer for what map you want to play Fnatic on. So, in a best of 3 especially, that's going to be tough.
Man, the mind games. You've got to go deep. You've got to go 3 games deep before you catch them on the 4th. That's dedication to winning a match. All those times they lost, it was all planned,
setting it up
guys.
for this moment. They just slow played it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The game is back underway. Pistols are a ho, and this time, well, we're seeing the double Tech 9 from Fur and ZQK, but Cutler's going to be the man to boost. But look at this, you can see him lurking ready for awaiting him to pop out. Doesn't matter, Tarek's already picked himself up a double, and Finesse does come out, as well as Cutler. And this is very much CLG's pistol round.
Yeah, very interesting that they reverse boost Cutler, but he doesn't peek. They initiate the action over on Door, so, they get a killer, they force him back, and then Cutler's there to pop up and clean some things up. But this is a beautiful round. A great 2 kills from Tarek has put him in a fantastic position.
Steel's the last man standing. They were stacking towards the bomb over in Squeaky, and Steel, well, he knows it's there. He knows he's got nothing to do. The entire CLG team is awaiting around this corner, behind this door. Cutler's going to be the man there, and Cutler will be the man that finds a very easy kill. So that was a great round from them. They did manage to rescue one of those Tech 9s as well. And Armor coming out. Let's see what CLG go with. Will it be the full-on SMG, or will they go for a little bit more respect with the FAMAS? It will be the FAMAS.
4, actually. So they're not going to be doing too much farming. It's only Hayes with that MP7 for that money bonus, and it is a force buy out of Keatstar's 4 members with armor pistol. And it looks like it's going to be they slowed it down right when they got into A main, but this is going to be an A hit, and actually it's a retake strategy for CLG, so Keatstar's is a great chance here to at least get the bomb planted and see what happens from there.
Sitting very passive. 3 of them back at truck there. JDM's now been the man that's pushed up on the corner, trying to get a hold of that forklift, trying to get the wrestle of it. Bomb plant will come in here from Keatstar's, or will it? Because that molly slowed things down. He had to back away. He was mid-plant fallen, realized he was going to lose his life during it. Now he does get it down the second time of asking, but you can see JDM already on a fantastic retake with the rest of his team. It's just Steel lurking in the mist, and he'll get taken down with ease. Not a member of CLG lost in the second round, just the 1 in the first round as well. So just 1 kill for Keatstars in 2 rounds. That's not the best start.
This is a far more patient CLG, and a more coordinated CLG in terms of that retake that we've seen, even since before this tournament. Online, they really only had 1 or 2 matches where they kind of hit this level of teamwork and coordination and patience, and it's a great showing from them.
And Tarek turning up as well. This is Tarek territory. This is a standard league North American matchup, and that's where Tarek does tend to excel. This time it's going to be explosive stuff from Keith. Just the pistols piling in, but again, Tarek gets himself up a quick and easy double before he's taken down. JDM coming through into checkers. Will manage to get around the back of them. They have gotten into sight, but they still yet to get the bomb down. Steel's pushed through the smoke. They haven't gone for the bomb plant. I don't understand why. Maybe they couldn't find the bomb in the smoke there.
It's very possible. Or maybe Steel just wanted to try and make a hero play. It was quite down to a 3-on-3. If he's able to get one cheeky kill like that, wrapping around, he could be able to turn things around. But either way, they did get the bomb plant in that second round, so they're going to have a solid buy here. ZQK with the AWP and the AK-47s, the utility's out for Keatstars. They have every nade they could possibly want.
Oh, flat out glass cannon for ZQK though. Meanwhile, no AWP for CLG. Sticking with the double FAMAS as well. JDM and Finesse, they're not going to go for that M4, sticking with their weapons. This time, we are going to see a much slower approach. ZQK is actually on the boost right down the back on truck there. The double boost up, so it gives you a real high angle, but as I mentioned, with CLG not using an AWP, nobody there to aim at. And there's a heck of a lot of smokes going down. CLG got themselves a good setup over on A site and B site. Cutler's going to be the man that's just in the corner, boosted onto box. And that's the first time we're seeing in that position used in this matchup. Maybe it's going to catch them off guard.
Yeah, Keatstar is playing this very, very slow, very cautiously. Don't want to get caught up by any of the aggression that they saw in the pistol round that ruined any idea that any kind of execute they wanted to run there. So still very far spread out. And now finally they're going to leave their positions. They're not watching for the pushes anymore. They're going to rotate over towards the A site where the bomb is. And it looks like 2 players are going to be headed out towards mid, and that's going to turn into an A pinch.
Yeah, so 3 through to mid. ZQK's joined them as well. So Steel fallen and ZQK all going to be bursting around that corner. Finesse and Hayes actually backing up here. So Finesse at truck is in really the perfect situation along with Cutler here to stop this attack dead. JDM's just got to be careful he doesn't get caught up in the crossfire as they push on through. 27 seconds on the clock. And this is already starting to become risky. Cutler's been spotted, but look at that. Manages to get himself the triple before he goes down. Job done as far as he's concerned. It's just Fur and Bolts now on site. Well, Bolts just being left out. That Molly was perfect. He couldn't get through with the bomb. Just wasn't able to get around the corner. Bought the time, and well, Tarek's there once again to hoover himself up. Got a couple more frags. He's already got 20 on the board. Could be looking at 30 bomb here.
Yeah, Tarek's showing up huge right now for his squad, but that round from Cutler, you got to mention it. That triple kill. Yeah. I mean, that's the one. That boost can get easily destroyed by players coming up connector like that, especially with no intel and no one spotting it from CLG other than Cutler in the boost. But he manages it perfectly.
Working out well for them. This time they are going to try and get a little bit of mid control. JDM with the AWP. Just getting peeking around that box. Looks like it is going to be a push in. There's the smoke cloud, so they're going to keep him away. Hops himself up onto box, but has to back up. He's in a little bit of a tricky situation here. If one of those Tech-9s catches him off guard, and it does, catch him trying to retreat back up short. Cutler will manage to land the molly and get himself one. Can he get a second? Finesse will help him out there, but their plant will come out. Bolts is the man that gets it. Steal in quad. And Ferk just trying to cut off the angle here from short. Cutler and Finesse about to explode around the corner. Tech-9 to the face, but doesn't manage to find Finesse somehow. Bolts, in the meantime, he doesn't land the shot either. I don't even know how they managed to miss that one. But nonetheless, CLG once again with another great retake. Only the one man lost. That was the AWP, which they've already recovered. And now it's 12-8. CLG starting to look like semi-finalists.
Yeah, they're looking really good at the moment, and JDM gets caught off by that push through the smoke wall in middle just a little bit. The AWP is salvaged, and they're kind of fortunate it didn't do any more damage, but CLG on their anti-ecos, they play a retake at this A-bomb site. They don't even want to mess with those Tech-9s turning corners into the site, so they're giving up the plant, which is great as long as you're winning the round, and they are.
Incredible stuff so far from a team that honestly everybody had written off coming into this tournament. They were the team that was meant to finish bottom place in this group. No doubt about it, but instead it's going to be either Fnatic or TSM. That game will follow this one, and we'll find out who will be joining the quarterfinals versus the loser of this matchup, which currently, well, is looking to be K-Stars as they're really struggling to get a grip on this matchup. This time they're going to go for a bit of a B play. Tarek is in vents ready and waiting for this one. Hayes the sole man on the back there, but Hayes was landing some critical shots in the first half on the T side, and he's not going to be easily rattled on site.
If this does turn into a B hit, CLG has a great defense. They have complete mid control. It's going to be fast flanks through the vent, possibly even two of them, plus two members in the B bomb site. So this is a scary situation. Keatstars might just be running into a fantastic setup from CLG.
They've got two in checkers already. Bolts is about to push through on Tarek, who's holding vents, but Finesse is going to join him. That's going to be a straight up battle through the smoke. Tarek will go down. Finesse still in there. That's going to delay things, actually. Hayes all alone on the back of box will get taken down. The Cutler's been smoked off, so now they're really struggling to get a hold of this site, and Keed have managed to get in on site. Cutler gets himself one. Bomb plant will be coming in, though. ZQK just covering off Sopa. He knows there's one there. He's going to flash on through and gets caught out. Cutler is playing magnificently on the CT side, and he's just fallen. The one man remaining down to a one-on-one, but he's got just 7 hit points on him. Cutler's, is he sticking it?
No, he's off. He's
just sitting on top of it. He's already got 3 this round. He's got to go for the defuse. Fallen is playing this one well. He's got the angle perfectly. He knows he can't hold it. He's going to stick it. Does manage to go. Can he get the defuse? He's got time.
Yep.
And that will be a beautiful 4K, honestly, for Cutler. He was held off in the smoke for a long period of time, but when he pushed through, he landed them shots.
And crucially, he waited for his teammate's pop flash to push through it. That was the key. Blinds the member in the site, and he gets a couple nice kills. Another monster performance from him, but almost a great hero play from Fallen. He really held that out as long as he could. 7 HP. He knows you can't really afford to peek so much. Just so much time left on that bomb that it's just really unfortunate he only had 7 HP because he played that as well as you possibly could.
We are seeing some cool, calm, calculated play from CLG, something I never thought I'd ever say in my life, but
you and me both on that
one. Trust me, I know. I've spent 2 days with you, and I'm well aware of your feelings on CLG, as are the players themselves.
Yeah, they really are. But I mean, it's great. They walked up to me afterwards. I mean, they've looked fantastic in these 2 matches that they've played today.
No doubt about it. They had the boost. I think they've just gone for a smoke play here this time, but CLG. Or I was about to say set up perfectly, but JDM goes down, and they managed to find Finesse as well as he, well, for some reason took a peek on main there, expecting to try and maybe surprise them, and for once, On the T side, Keedstars have themselves a great advantage, but Tarek is in the way. Cutler's there as well, and these are the guys that have been playing hero. Hayes and Tarek now coming from the B side. Hayes gets himself one. Bomb's still not down. Fallen's going to have to try and pick that one up. He has to flash himself around there, but CLG are not hanging around. Hayes is pushing up. They want a bit of this aggression that they've been feeling all the way through. Tarek gets one, but now it is just all on him. Fallen around. Still no bomb plants here. Doesn't matter. He's got the orb. He makes the play. And Keedstars finally get themselves around on the board on the T side after 6 rounds running for CLG.
Right, but here's what's tough about that. That came down to a one-on-one. So they do win the round, but their economy is still so incredibly weak. They haven't stabilized yet. And if CLG is able to reset them here, that puts them in prime position moving forward.
Let's see if they can afford to. Finesse couldn't really go for a gun because they were kind of struggling themselves. They took a lot of losses in the last few rounds, but this is going to be a fast boost and it's straight into a molly. They're all burning and Cutler just bows them down. Gets himself a simple triple from Sandbags, and that is not how Keedstars read that situation.
We talked about Tarek coming alive here in a crucial moment with all the frags that he has, but Cutler is having the biggest impact on this match. This is 3 rounds now that he's been an absolute beast and pulled him back into it.
Fantastic play from him. Steal in checkers. Going to get spotted. JDM doesn't manage to land the shot, but gets a little second chance to peek there. ZQK, is he going to come B what site? Or is he going to go for the rotate? Tarek's the only man over on A site. That's where they're going to head, but Tarek is in a perfect situation to stop them dead in their tracks here. Should be able to cover off the cross. There's the one. That's the bomb planted down. The second one is Steal, just taking a peek. He's going to get taught out. And CLG are playing some pretty sexy Counter-Strike right now.
Yeah, they are, and that's an angle from Tarek that you do not ever expect to have to clear when you rotate back towards the A-bomb side, and now he does a really tough decision. Well, maybe it's actually not that tough because they really can't even afford to force buy here, but on the other hand, they're letting CLG get to 15, they're letting them get to match point, so this is a brutal spot to be in. From here on out, there's no mistakes that can be made from Keedstars.
The semi-finals are beckoning for Counter Logic Gaming, team that, well, lost out to Keedstars at ESL 1 Katowice.
And again, an anti-eco, and CLG continues to play this retake strategy. They have an op at the truck, and JDM's going to get the first one, and they just run out. They don't even have the smokes because they can't afford it.
Oh, that grenade is going to be key. That's going to land straight on him. Doesn't manage to get the full kill, though. Down to 33. But it is just Steel and Bolts. They've only managed to get the one down. JDM. Now Bolts all alone. And now we are on match point. CLG looking to book themselves a place in the semi-finals. A top 4 finish in the ESL ESEA Pro League. And a pretty big chunk of change to boot with that. And really surprising the entire internet community in one day.
Right, they've been great, and they've got a fantastic opportunity here. You look at this buy out of Keedstars. I mean, they have to force up. It's match point, but the AKs don't have a lot of utility, and the Galils are relatively weak as well. They don't really have any other option but just to execute onto a bomb site and see what happens with the trades.
And it's going to be A site once again. They're trying to rush in. Finesse, though, not going to get caught out. Will get himself triple kill around the back there. Beautifully done. Steal the last man standing. He's in mid. He does manage to get Tarek down, but he is going to have to be the hero, the man of Brazil, if he makes the play. It's not going to happen. Hayes manages to get the kill. A fantastic game all around from CLG. Cutler and Hayes on your screen there. Both had some magnificent moments throughout that matchup, and CLG really were very much worthy of that win. They were fantastic on the CT side.
Yeah, and Cutler, the absolute MVP for me for CLG in that match. And here's why. Cutler's a fundamental player. He plays very, very good Counter-Strike. And now that surrounding him, CLG has kind of calmed things down. They have that coordination down, it looks like, that much, much better in terms of communication. He can thrive now because he knows what's happening around him. He knows it's going to be some good plays. No one's going to be, flying off trying to make something unnecessary happen. And he can just be very, very comfortable in that position.
And let me just set up what that means for you. It means, of course, that CLG are through to the semi-finals that we played on Saturday, and they'll be playing the winner of either Cloud9 or Envious. Now, obviously, they'll be looking forward to Cloud9 maybe because it's a clash they're very much used to, but after beating Fnatic today, I think they're going to be feeling like world beaters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And even Envious shown a couple cracks there earlier today with that loss to Cloud9, but absolutely, they would much rather play Cloud9 than Envy, I believe.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Of course, Keedstars is not over for them. They're going to be falling through to the quarterfinals. That will be played tomorrow, and that will be against the winner of either Team Solo Mid or Fnatic. And of course, that is coming up next, and that's going to be a bit of a belter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like having 2 grand finals really in this tournament.
So Moses, what do we say to today? What do we say so far? Because you are the American representative here on the caster team. Well, I mean, we could count Seminar as well, but you're the one that's actually in America.
Right.
What is going on today?
It's 4th of July weekend. 4th of July, that's what it's got to be. It's just that magic. I mean, they came to play. CLG looks like a whole different team than what we saw out of them in the regular season, so props to them for the work that they've done. Cloud9 stepped it up as well against Envy. Stumbled a bit against Virtus Pro, is good against North American teams, but they've all played great.
Well, what a fantastic game, ladies and gentlemen. CLG smashing Keith Stars to go through to the semis. Let's hear what Alex and the guys have to say.
Thanks very much, Lee. Smashing may be a strong word. I think that started with me going, oh man, I thought CLG were going to turn up. And then I looked back after, having a quick conversation. I turned back, I'm like, hang on, CLG are back in this. Real kind of back and forth game, to and fro, and I'm going to open up the floor to everyone. I'll start with you, Devil Walk. How did that one shape up? It kind of did that go expectedly, I guess?
No, I mean, it was kind of like... Cade didn't really play that bad. It was just like CLG just kind of turned it on, and they were just on. They hit every shot. They got the interest they needed. I mean, we discussed before this, like Cutler, just amazing plays from him.
He's the big man here.
Yeah.
It's the beard.
Keep your eyes on Cutler, because he was turning up. I think it was like numerous times where if he didn't defend that site, this site was lost, and he was managing to secure round after round and frag after frag. Great example of it here, where he just walks on into the site and just rips them apart.
As soon as he went CT side, he just came alive. But I was getting flashbacks to our match earlier, TSM Keed, where it's like, TSM, they don't recover, and then they recover, but then they can't eke out the win in the end. Here, it was that kind of first half where it was back and forth, and then all of a sudden, it's what TSM weren't capable of doing, CLG were. They just flipped that switch and went completely ape.
You know what's really scary is that actually in that first part of the first half where Keed looked really strong, and I thought, it's going just like I thought it would, Keed being really strong and everything. Some of the rounds, the really important rounds that CLG lost in the beginning, was actually their own fault. They failed a couple of really important flashbangs. They forgot to check a couple of corners. Otherwise, this would have been like an utter stomp from CLG. They could have actually won like 3 really key rounds in the beginning. Instead of it being 7-1, it probably would have been like 4-3 in favor of Keed. And maybe those 4 rounds would have been all they got then in the end. It was actually CLG played a better match than it seemed, which is crazy because they already played a really good match.
Yeah.
And listening to their comms all along was hilarious as well.
We were like a whole group huddled over here, just listening to the comms.
It was
brilliant.
It was so good as well because it was almost like being in a war zone, because the European teams, when they get excited, it's like, good job now, let's dig in the next round. But they were shouting. I mean, Finesse was just going out of his mind, screaming at people like,
Finesse,
stay back, is crazy.
I
loved it.
If you've actually been in there watching their games on stage, you can hear it clearly.
I'm sure,
watching
man.
as an audience,
I just, you know damn well when that flash is coming.
Yeah.
And the flash, it's coming because the guy's like, I'm flashing.
It's like they're actually in a mini war. Like there's there's an actual war going on in our arena.
We got
now.
headsets on.
But,
you just got to talk at it.
I was watching with Nats in the beginning, and he said, look, the problem is, this is a common problem in his opinion for NA teams, that you get really big highs but really deep lows as well. So if you're on that high, if you're riding the wave and suddenly Keed do make a comeback, that can backfire on you pretty heavily. It didn't this time, and CLG did super well. But I think actually in the long term, it could be a good idea for them to try and just keep a little bit of a lid on and be keep it cool until the end, guys. Don't explode yet. Wait with the high fives till we're actually through. So.
Yeah, that's the kind of the other side of things, and this is another example. Devil Walk, what does this have to show?
Well, it's just Cutler. I mean, it's kind of the Molotov just explodes at the perfect moment. They're kind of they have to commit.
Yeah.
And
there was no backing up from that situation. And I mean, really, it's like what you have to do after is basically go through that half and count how many rounds Cutler had a double or a triple kill. Because it just feels like he was everywhere on the map, and wherever he showed up, there were a lot of dead Brazilians. Keed Stars, right? They weren't happy about that. He would just show up and wreck house. So you got to really kind of give the at least the MVP of that CT side to Cutler.
Yeah. I mean, let's see how that then affected the brackets as this is going. This has been a bit of a wild ride today.
Yeah.
It really has been, and you can see just how this is shaped up. We do have CLG then securing that semi-final spot, and that feels weird to say, but CLG are in the semis. And that's kind of exciting. We are going to be talking to Cutler, as once again we're going to be bringing him in, and there's going to be the star man. I mean, we've just spent half this desk talking about how effective Cutler has been.
If you look at the bracket as well, we have more chaos to come.
Yeah, I mean, so much drama coming up next game.
Oh, buddy.
I'm avoiding talking about it until we get this one under our belts, but you're right. TSM Fnatic, one of these teams is going home next. But Before that, hello, sir.
How you guys
Welcome
doing?
to the desk. Let me make sure I can actually look at you. There we go. Fantastic game from you. I mean, as an individual, and of course as a team as well, but the first thing we did when we came back to us was Cutler just played out of his mind.
CT side at least.
Yeah.
T side, little struggle, but...
But I mean, so for you guys as a team now, securing the semi-finals, is that something you came here expecting?
No, I don't... You know what? Honestly, we probably thought we were going to lose to Fnatic, but at least we gave Key a good chance to go to the quarters.
And that was kind of where you kind of saw yourself having to battle it out.
Yeah.
And the victory against Keed, what was it that Keed kind of were doing so wrong in T-side, or was it what you guys were doing so right? I think that's what we're really interested to know. Like, what made that CT side go so smoothly for you guys?
I think our communication has been working a lot on CT side. I mean, sometimes I'll have to yell for them to understand, because our team is known for over-peaking a lot of things and trying to make plays when they're not supposed to. So maybe if we're a little louder, people understand that, support's humming.
Do you feel like that's something that you might need to take a look at? Because, we do have the comms here. We can actually listen to the comm streams. And for us, it does sound quite chaotic, right? Like really, when we were listening to you, we were just like, how do you know what's actually happening? Because I just hear this guy shouting, this guy shouting, this guy shouting. Do you feel like that's too much sometimes?
No, I mean, I think we're just used to it now. I mean, that's how we've always been. So
it's a style, right?
Yeah, I mean, there has been times in matches where we haven't heard people because other people are talking. And we have talked about maybe only calming something once instead of twice. I don't know, there be instead of just there be 4 here, calling numbers and bombs instead of just screaming B. Because if they fake or something like that just from yelling, because it's so panicky.
And that's actually an interesting point you make. Do you not find, not just your comms, but everyone always find themselves unnecessarily saying the same call again and again, 3 mid, 3 mid, 3 mid. It always comes out multiple times, and that's what actually something I'd be interested to know if teams have managed to cut that out.
Certainly.
It's
NIP
very
are an
common
example.
They do.
problem.
NIP are a pure example, actually, that they, at the very beginning, certain players, if I remember correctly, I think Freiburg, that was a weakness of his, where he would call repeatedly things and get too excited, and then Forrest was just like, you know what, shut up.
Wow,
And calm everything down. It's a zen, over on
Okay.
But I mean, that's just it's a polar opposite, right? So it's we hear a lot of those guys, and then all of a sudden it's we listen to, for example, you guys are just what is going on?
Well, on LAN it's especially important because sometimes the sound isn't as good as, again, home because there's crowds and there's, even though we had the soundproof booth, you can kind of hear a faint announcer sound.
Always, yeah.
Even, it's just, the sound is very important, especially on LAN. So.
Yeah.
So then final question, this is kind of stepping away from your game. Big congratulations on that semi-final, but there is a very important game coming off after this one. I know none of us were expecting it, but TSM versus Fnatic, I mean, where does this leave you? When you see that on paper, do you see that as a game that should be happening? And also, who do you see kind of taking that while I have you here?
It's like a final in the lower bracket.
It's crazy, right?
I mean, it's every fan's dream, I guess, but TSM has been playing really well recently, so I mean, I think whoever gets the momentum first will win.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Cutler. Once again, big congratulations.
Thank you.
CLG securing that semi-final spot. And before we go, I need to once again tell you about theScore eSports application. You can get that on iOS. I'm getting it all right this time. Do be sure to check that out for. But not only CSGO, but all eSports they managed to cover. So, from all of us here, TSM versus Fnatic coming up after this one. Get yourselves ready. If you've got to eat, you've got to walk the dog. Do it now because you want to be back for TSM versus Fnatic, and we'll see you then.